All right guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys watched the last video, we did all the details coming out at the bottom of this valley, working up to the valley pan and getting this roof ready to install valley panels. So if you are confused about what all this is or you missed the first one, go back and check that out first and then come back and watch this one where we're going to install the panels and work our way down to covering up this last panel that we are over top of, okay? So the first thing that we need to do is we need to get our layout so that we know where every panel is in this valley, so we can get measurements for them, and then we need to find out what the angle is that we need to cut them at. We'll go down, we'll get them all cut, and we'll come back up and do the install. Let's get our layout done. So you come off of this line, we'll get all of our layout, and then we'll kind of keep moving forward. So we're marking this out so that we can ensure when we go to put these in place, when we get down to the very bottom, everything is where it should be, because it's very important to make sure we get a good lap down there on, go a little higher, down there on that last piece that we installed before we started the valley install. And obviously it's important that Greg stays square, which we're using the Benjamin Opdyke Vapor Dry as our guide because it was installed really well. Come on down, buddy. Right to the top of the words. Yeah, there you go. So, it's very important, guys. In order to end up with a perfect lap down there, or as perfect as possible, because I promise you it won't be perfect, but we're gonna do our best. We have to start the first panel dead on this mark and this mark. The little pieces are the worst. They skew easily, they warp, they twist. It's easy to lay a big long piece on two marks and know that you're really friggin' close, but all it takes is a little bit being off up here to get really off down there. So now that we have our marks, we can hit every one of those marks. We know we're not gonna like grow or shrink in our valley. What we need to do is figure out the angle of our cut. A couple different ways that we can do this. Greg, let's, for the sake of having a line, let's snap one line in, so we can be right on this valley. Good? Yep. So this is our first line in, and it's better than this one way out here just because I think I'll get an easier example for you guys. First thing I can do is I can use my square. I can set it on my snap line. Make sure we're as accurate as possible. And that right there is about 50, say 53 and a half. 53.5. Or I can use digital angle finder, lay that right here, line it up, okay? I'm 37.2. You may be like, wait, what the heck? You were 53 and now you're 37? What is 53.5 plus 37.2? 89.7. It's a complementary angle. So I was checking one side of the angle, which is this side, and then the opposite side would be the remainder from subtracting from 90. These are progressively, in my opinion, becoming more accurate ways to measure. Now we're gonna do what I think is the most accurate way to measure. Greg, go ahead and take yourself to your peak. Let's get a dimension. Okay, I'm gonna measure to this point here, 194 and an eighth. There we go, wherever you were on your peak.
So where's the top of your sheathing?
Right here.
Okay, so yeah, it was right about there then.
Okay, so this is 147 and an eighth. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go 147 and an eighth. That'll be my rise. And 194 and an eighth, my run. It gives me a pitch of 37.16. Now remember, we were at 37.2 with the digital angle finder. You know, it's kind of like the whole measure twice, cut once mentality. I could have used this and said 53.5 or 36.5, 30. Oh, okay, yeah, actually that should have been 36.5 to make 90. Or I get a little bit bigger triangle and I get a little bit more accurate reading, or I get a measurement on the entire valley section from the whole point to get the most accurate hitch, which 37.2 is probably good enough. And that's what I did get with this guy. So I feel really good about that. That's the angle we'll use. Now we'll go down to the ground and we'll start cutting these panels up. Before, we need to first get an angle, Greg. So you edge of sheeting?
I'm edge of sheathing, yep.
All right, so we're gonna do 204, yep, 204 inches. So that's the long point of this panel here, and we'll use that along with our 37.2 degrees to figure out everything else. Let's go down, get off the roof, and we'll do it down there. So 204, that was the dimension up top that we measured, and our pitch was 37.2. So what I always do to make this easy for Greg and I is 204. That was the measurement from here all the way up, right? So that was this measurement. Now, that's gonna tell me the long point, but in order to figure out this angle, I know that this is 37.2. I can also use this dimension of 16 inches, because my coverage is 16, and math to find out that if I know my rise, my pitch, I can figure out my run and my diagonal. My run is 21 and a 16th. That's based off of using my calculator. So then all I do is I take 204 and I subtract 21 and a 16th to every one. So now Greg knows exactly where our long points are, so he can start cutting or marking the panels, and then I'll run them through the snap table and prep. Remember, the snap table is great for prepping standing seam panels, but it excels in valleys, and that is because cutting, snipping, bending, hemming angles is just not as easy as a nice flat end. I'll show you a couple how this works and why this thing is amazing as we make these, but we're not gonna, focus on it because obviously $18,000 or 16, I don't know what they are now. I mean, I think I paid like 12 back in 2019. No, 2020.
2020, yeah.
Yeah, before everything went crazy. So it's probably double that now, who knows? But I love it when I have it here at the job site. So there we go, Greg.
Smile again.
Do I got food in my mouth?
Yeah, you got it. There you go.
I just ate oh yeah, that's a bean. I ate leftover tacos.
Yeah, that's a bean.
Taco bowl. I'm gonna finally show you guys exactly why the snap table is so amazing. We've got our marks where our angle cut is, we've got our marks for our hem cut, all that good stuff. And all I have to do is I'm gonna line up my mark that Greg gave me. Notch. Yeah, you're not doing that by hand that fast. Okay, we're gonna pull this through. Make a quick cut here. Otherwise this can get in the way. This is where things really get much, much more fun. All right, Greg, clamp me down. Don't look at that, that's my fault. Now I'm gonna just really quickly, this is kind of a pain detail because we're coming out of the valley. It makes this little bend over tab a little bit more tricky, but regardless, still pretty sweet. This, I guess you would have to do by hand, kind of regardless, if you care about this, or if your manufacturer like ours doesn't do the tabs for you. Clean this off. Make a mark so I know right where I'm gonna hem this. And while I did have a couple snafus on that one, like my roller on my my shear did not slit it very well. That was my fault. The panel moved on me. But that is a very, very easy way to not only just do it, but to get very consistent results on every panel versus having to do it by hand and kind of work hard. I can kind of just do it. I don't have to think much about it because the machine's already basically set up for all my angles. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm gonna get these all done so we can get up on the roof. Let's see if these are all cut right, the right lengths. All right, guys, we've got our panels all cut. We've got the short ones already up here. We need to lay down our cedar breather. I always have other names for it, so I had to think about actually the real name. And then we'll get this started. So Greg, you got your slap tacker?
Yep.
Go ahead and take it over. Yep. Just go ahead and
downhill a little bit. There you go.
Okay. And I apologize, guys, it's gotten mighty windy out. While the wind is welcome because it has brought with it some much warmer temperatures, it's kind of annoying.
It's out of the wrong direction.
Yeah.
What it is.
Okay, you got that? Thank you. All right, first thing we need to do before we put our panels in is, here, we need to run our butyl. The butyl is gonna go over top of our screws, protecting that penetration in case water were to get over, and also when our panel gets pushed down and tight, it's gonna give ourselves a little bit of extra seal. All right, so this is the first piece, like I said earlier, guys, this is the most important. It needs to go in and hit our marks. So we're going to hopefully.
I know what you're missing.
What am I missing?
The most important part of this entire process.
What?
Your panel, so you don't scratch the valley.
Oh yeah, good call, dude. Good thing I won't do that on this one, but definitely get it for the future. Okay, we're just gonna take this plastic off. Very hard to see. And as I go, I will have a little bit of play with a bigger piece, but I need to make sure this is pretty darn close. Let's get the second one in. That'll kind of start to tell the story. Nice, we'll get this in here. What's that?
That one's not bad, we're good.
No, we're gonna be fine, dude. Okay, next one. Whatever, dude.
You'll get
Let's
on the
see.
next one.
Maybe I need you on this one.
Think so?
I don't know. I mean, you're just looking pretty over there. Maybe you could help me.
Yeah, if you want me to help you, I'll help
Why don't you just go up there and we'll see. Oh, dang. Did it again. Right on my mark. You see your mark up there? And then you can get your top, you can get your tops. So hopefully, as long as we stay on our marks, the goal is to hit that last panel right where we need it to be so that we can get our overlap done properly. So let's just keep running these out. And it looks like our angles are good, our measurements are good. Maybe we're a little tall.
I don't know if it's, I think it's this side.
No, I mean, there's our, we need to cut this out. We're gonna have to probably take, I don't know, we'll see what happens. I feel like that's a little bit tall. It's all about that slight tension, you know? Okay, go ahead and hit that slack tacker there.
Fingers.
So since we're talking about valley install, this piece of trim is basically necessity. You can see how scratched up this is. These scratches would be transferred to your valley if you didn't use something like this. And it's just there to protect while we slide this in. And then you just keep moving it down the line. So very important detail. Doesn't take very long to realize that that's a necessity. All this is, it's a scrap piece of material. So we just cut it down to fit. We wrap some tape over it so that we don't have raw edges potentially scratching. And it just slides right underneath here. There's your mark. Breathe, Kyle. Namaste. Definitely a little bit tight, Greg.
Tight?
Up on the ridge.
High?
Yeah, a little bit higher than I want to be. So we're gonna probably have to do something about that, but we don't do it right now. There's literally, we're just keeping the rain out of going into the ridge at this point, you know? There we go. Okay, go ahead up there if you want. So here's what can happen, guys. And I'm already seeing a little bit of remnants of it. If I look down, see this line is where I'm at, this line where I want to be. Because when you're going into a valley, you're inherently going to push it up and it can go up the hill just slightly more than you want. So that is why these marks are so important. I need to keep an eye on that and make sure that I don't keep going up because I need to be on my mark when I get down there to the very bottom. I suppose this detail right here, you could probably use some like Lexel through the roof and just run it right over top of these heads. Whenever we do a takeoff on this, this is the detail that they call out in their book. So I just order the butyl tape for this, but I probably would feel just fine, Greg, with running like a bead, a fat bead of Lexel, or
Yeah.
through the roof.
I bet you that'll be good enough.
Yeah.
You got it?
Hold on. Okay, hold it right there, okay? So if I push up, go ahead and pull it up tight, Greg. Okay, look at that. That's where it pulled me to, right there. I'm every bit of 3/16. If I come it back down, I'm gonna make sure I push it tight over to my line. That way it holds in tight. I'm still here. I'm still where I wanna be, but it's very easy in a valley to push it up tight and then have the problem with staying on your mark. That's why it's so important to run your marks. You would think that it's just gonna run exactly where it's supposed to, but it's just not the case. So I can't stress it enough. In standing seam especially, it is very important to always hit your marks because there is not much room for error when you're talking about your layout and wanting to hit certain parts later on down the roof, like that way down there. Okay, nope, catching on something. Right here, see how tight that is? It's just a little bit tight. Could be a little bit of a dip in our valley. Okay, let's do that again. Go ahead, there you go. Let me get over on my mark.
What the?
All right, guys, we got the valley, ran out to the last piece that's gonna do our overlap. So we've got a little bit of work to do here to make this work. And this is kind of where it all either works or doesn't work. We either did a screw.
Good D, good D.
Yep, he ain't getting by me. This is where we either did our job well or we gonna work harder to do it better next time. So let's get this piece, Greg. Let's get it fit in here. Let's get this leg cut back. We'll get our cedar breath down and see how we did.
Sounds good to me.
So what we have to do, we want to protect this. We have to find out where this ends, and we need to cut back this rib so that this one can go here, and then the first full is going to wrap over and lock down onto this one and this one. The problem we had the first time through was we had quite a bit of material on the backside, and we learned that we probably don't want to do that. So we took some of the layers out. That's why this valley sits directly to the pan instead of being in a hem trim like this here. And I hoping that it helps. It's not that didn't work, it's just that was a lot more work, I think, than it really needed to be. So Greg, I'm gonna go ahead and get this in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm never gonna be able to take it up all the way. So go ahead and just take it up.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to just eyeball it. And I'm gonna kind of err on,
You can always take off material.
can always take off material. So that is where I'm gonna assume it to be. Right here is what I wanna remove, okay? Let's take it off. Get out of my life, dude. There you go. You can put a screw in it if you want. So, oh, look at that. What do you know? Believe it or not, right there is where this ends, and that's where I want to take it. Okay.
Can you
Feel the love.
cut down the top of this, flatten this, cut it down, and leave like a little lip?
All right, get this out of here. Now, let's do this. Actually, let's see. I don't think we need it to be so high, first off.
Correct. Yeah.
So let's just cut this down. there's like a weird little bend right in here that is how the last or the next panel clamps on.
Probably see it right here.
Yeah, you can kind of see it's right in here. And we've taken that out, so hopefully, I don't know, we might have to do a little bit more, because really, Greg, all we're looking for is a little bit of water protection. And we've never done this, so this is kind of our first go at this. We're gonna set that next panel on here, hook it on, we'll throw some, do you wanna try it first before
Let's try it
yeah, before I throw some Sashco in there. Let's, before we get any cedar breather or nothing like that, let's see, I'm a little anxious. You may seem like, man, Kyle don't know what he's doing. It's because every time we do details like this, we can make it work. Like we can do our best, we can throw some caulk in there, but if there's like an easier way to do it or maybe a better sensible way, every time we do something, it's kind of like, can we do that better? Can we make it easier? Can we improve it? And I think this might be a little bit of an improvement. Maybe, we're gonna find out. Oh, so here's my problem, Greg. This is kind of scary. I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can go ahead and try it. Take it up slowly. You're catching, aren't you?
It feels like it.
Yeah. I don't know how I can get my hand in there. Son of a gun. How are we gonna do that?
Can you get your flat bar in there and kind of lift it up and get it tucked under your hem?
Maybe. You can kind of feel it.
You can take my clothes off.
Yeah. You can feel it. I'm good over here.
Okay. I think I need to go back here more. It feels like I'm catching right back here.
Because we can pull it up.
Oh.
Oh, am I catching on me? This is when I'm gonna lose a finger. Okay, take it off. It's what?
Said it is me bleeding.
Yeah.
Right on the fingertip.
Fingers grow back. All right, now I think, Greg, I should have that hem open enough. Go ahead and start pulling it up. Don't worry about this, I got this. Okay, this is good, this is good. I'm seeing the error of my ways here. This hem is a little long. Got that out. And then we gotta get over top of this trim. It's gonna be better than the other side,
That's good.
but we're gonna have to get this hem squashed down. So once we get it in here, we're gonna have to get a board on it and like get this
You
tight.
might be able to just kind of push down like you're doing CPR.
Yeah. But the good news is, I think we're good, man. Let's go ahead and take this out. Let's get some sealant right here. Actually, I'll do sealant right now.
Can you pull off the tape for your butyl?
Oh, shoot.
You might be able to.
Oh, shoot. I got your gloves. It's gonna squash right down in there. We're gonna take it down. I'm okay with that right there.
Yeah?
Yep, okay. I'm actually really happy with this. What we were able to achieve was this leg is the low side going under. We were able to achieve keeping it up here so that any water that gets under here blows in, will go and it'll hit that. We've got the through the roof up here. That's gonna stop any of the capillary action from wanting to go back here. And now we'll get this secured. And when we put this first, Greg.
Cedar breather.
Cedar breather. We can slide it under there, right?
Yeah. It goes halfway under.
Okay, well, you know what? We're so excited. But this is great because we'll get this cedar breather, we'll get this secured, and then this first long piece, as long as it connects and snaps in nice, man, we're gonna be off to the races. Oh, buddy. So just...
You want me to push on your back?
I don't think I need you to push on my back.
Yeah, here we go. Teamwork.
I just want this... Okay.
Nice.
All the marbles right here, big dog.
Together we can accomplish anything.
Power of friendship and leverage. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
Okay, so what are we hitting?
Oh,
Is there a little bird that we're catching?
no, I think this piece is actually kind of bent back, so we're gonna work it from the top. So this should bring it down.
Yes. Which that's what we had. We had to do the same thing on the other side. We had to go from the top down. Nice.
I like it. See, we were able to lock in on this bottom, and we're locked in here. So now this is all secure. Everything is lapped good. I like it, dude. That looks good. That looks way better.
Yeah, it sealed, it clamped down.
Clamped
way better
down
on that
really
rib.
nice. There we go, guys. To me, my opinion, the hardest detail on the roof is this area right in here. I mean, it took us all day. Actually, it is 2:55 p.m. We probably started, what do you think, 9:30? By the time we got stuff out?
No, by the time we got set up, it was just at like 8:45.
Okay, so whatever that is, 6 hours. We're filming this for you guys. A lot of work goes into that, getting it set up, hopefully telling the right story so that you guys can see all the right details, tips and tricks, the things that we struggle with, and kind of come up with solutions for, and hopefully it helps you guys get through your install. I think this is a very good way of doing it. Is it the only way? No, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. And if you guys have some things that I could do to improve this detail, by all means, man, I love to learn, and clearly we're always trying to do it better, do it a little bit different, make it easier on ourselves. Drop that down below in the comments. Greg and I are gonna go ahead and get this all installed. I think that'll be it for this video. We definitely have more details for this standing seam roof that I want to share with you guys. Ridge cap, valleys, valley cap, sidewall flashing detail, all that stuff is coming. So if you aren't already subscribed and you guys want to see that stuff, make sure that little subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, and hey, maybe you'll get to watch some good content out of it. But Greg and I are going to finish this up. We'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks a lot. Good one, Greg.